when all is said and done, I don't see anybody trying to give me a pardon.
Right?
Fuck you all. Okay. So my story today involves a case that the United States Supreme Court decided to take up, now figure out for us. And it involves Rico, and not our, dopest dad in the street, Rico Lamitte. It's the racketeering, influence, and corrupt organizations, federal law. And this is the civil component where people who are injured by racketeering, influence, and corrupt organizations in their business or property have a private right of action. And that's sort of the stage here. And it seems that a truck driver went and bought some hemp products, and hemp manufacturers had put out there in the advertisements and on the package that contains no THC. Well, hemp can have up to 0.3% THC, which is not a lot, but apparently they were saying there's none in here. I don't know if he took any steps to take it out. It seemed to have been a lawful product. Guy's a truck driver. He starts, I don't know if he's got gummies. It doesn't really say. He starts using this product, and he pisses dirty for THC. Okay, well, he happens to be a truck driver, and they didn't fill the details in, but apparently he was, for 29 years, been driving truck. He's got insurance benefits. He's got retirement. And they, basically walk him in and say, you pissed dirty for THC. You're fired. Get out of here. Well, he runs to court, and he files under a private civil RICO allegation that these people harmed me because of their racketeering activity, that there's an enterprise here which meets the requirements for the civil RICO, and so I want to be compensated for my loss of wages, insurance, retirement, stuff like that. And this case was getting ready to go to trial, and the attorneys for the CBD companies filed what we call a summary judgment motion and said there's no triable issue of fact. You cannot pursue personal injury damages in a private RICO. I once lost wages. Those are typically personal injury type of recoveries. And the court granted the motion, and the plaintiff was told to pack your dolls and go home. Well, they appealed it, and a decision came out of the appellate court that said, hang on, this is not personal injury damages. This guy was injured in his business interest because he lost a job. That's his business. It's a job. So we're going to allow these damages to go forward. And it appears that there's a split across the country. Two federal appellate courts say you can recover for personal injury damages. And here in California, our Ninth Circuit's one of them. And three say, no, you can't. You got to prove an injury to a business or property, or you can't sustain the action. It's going to be dismissed on you. So this is going to be on the Supreme Court. And one of the concerns that jumped out at me is that these are hemp companies producing a lawful product. And ordinarily, if something is mislabeled, okay, you don't go into federal court seeking damages under RICO because they put on a bottle of, Jim Beam that it's 150 proof and it's only 100 proof or something like that. That is not the subject of a RICO action. And these CBD companies are doing lawful business. If there's a problem here, there was a mislabeling, or they didn't put on there, whatever else does, disclaimers that when we say no THC, there could be, a teeny weeny bit. And, be careful because you may piss dirty or something. I don't know what they're going to have to do for warnings, but it seemed to me that anybody going into the cannabis industry, including hemp, may want to pay attention to this, because if you are engaged in lawful activity and somebody claims they were damaged by something, you could end up with a federal RICO case against you. And, the bottom line, they allow damages and attorney's fees here. So they should cost these companies a lot of money. And so I'm going to be watching what the Supreme Court has to say here, and this will come back up down the line. But I want to throw back at you guys your thoughts about RICO and whether they should be recover for personal injuries, whether it's a personal injury. This is splitting the baby up kind of fine to me, it seems to me. So back at you. What do you guys think?
Yeah, this kind of sounds like little ambulance chasing to me, Dale.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of that arguments for private attorney general types of cases in general. I mean, this falls under that basic rubric, is that if there's a group of criminal laws or a group of laws the state normally goes after, we'll allow people to do it under a private attorney general type of theory and recover attorney fees, which green lights, as you say, ambulance chasers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we here.
No, I'm sorry. Someone's going to say something. I'll say something after them.
Got it, Tony.
I wanted to ask, so what I wanted to say is this something like there was a person that had a coffee at McDonald's. It was hot.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah, she spilled it on herself.
You remember that, right?
Yeah, she drove off. She set it in between her legs. She drove off and then sued McDonald's because the coffee was too hot, and she won. She won. Yep, and McDonald's changed their whole temperature on their coffee. And
they had to put caution contains hot liquid, right? So now, maybe this may be the thing that causes CBD companies to say, hey, this product has a very minimum amount of THC, which if you use and with one use, you shouldn't test positive, or or something to the effect of like. But there should be some fine print put there. That way, people can clearly say, well, that way they can clearly say when someone tries this again that hey, we already labeled our stuff. And for people who do have marijuana products, this may be the opportunity for you to get ahead of the curve and just start to put small little fine printing on your packaging. That way, you don't have to worry about something like this in the future, if in fact it does go against businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I might be good with that as long as the government doesn't dictate it, because we've got so much dictation right now. What's got to go on these damn products? You got to have a huge bag just to put an eighth in because of all the shit you've got to print on it and the size of the font. I mean, it gets ridiculous. Okay, and that really is one of my points here. Is some of the shit gets ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
At what point are people responsible for their own activities or their own stupidity?
I totally agree with that. Exactly, Dale. I'm with you 100% on that.
I am too.
What do you call a penis-shaped potato?
Well, I think I know a couple of guys I could attach names to, but
it's not Potato Head. You guys are funny.
I'll leave it at that because I get myself in trouble.
Mm-hmm. you have any? I know, Rochelle, you're getting here a little late. Do you have anything you want to say on this before we go to a commercial?
Rochelle.
Hey guys, good to see you. I guess I'm just curious about what the long-term implications of this case would be, regardless of how things shake out. Like, does it impact consumers? Is it more about the trucking industry and industries where they've had issues with CBD?
I think it's going to impact. I think it's going to impact all producers and labelers of these types of products to where they would have that type of they would obviously incur a type of liability if this case was successful.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I'd like to see them foreclose a lot of this shit at the federal level and just say we got plenty of laws. I mean, if you go buy hot coffee and it burns your crotch and you didn't know hot coffee would burn your crotch, I don't know what to tell you, but it shouldn't be a federal action.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, go out and sue somebody for personal injury. Some of this stuff, and I'm an attorney, I look at this and go, how in the hell do you run a business when every place you look, some thin-skinned little shit's going to sue you for something that I was taught you move on, Come on, dude.
Exactly.
Stop.
So that's what prepaid legal is for.
Oh boy. Yeah, and on that prepaid legal, we're going to go to a commercial. We're going to be right back.